Good afternoon everyone, Dee's here. I thought I would just do a little bit of backstitching with you. I am working on, it's called A Romantic Bike and the name is Summer. So this obviously comes in the different seasons. So yeah, I've finished everything except for a few more stitches of the back stitch. So yeah, I thought I would do that with you, and I'm hoping I've got 3 more little spikes to backstitch on the wheel. Oh, actually, no, I haven't. I thought I would show you the finished project, but I just remembered I've got a bit around the wheel. But I will finish the spikes of the bike inside the wheel, and I'll show you the almost finished cross stitch. So yeah, I'll do the outside of the wheel off camera, but it more or less is finished. I was going to wash it and everything, but I thought I don't think I've recorded myself doing some backstitching ever. So the instructions are, this is a Joy Sunday. I think I reviewed this, let's see, One Day Saving I did back in August. But when you buy the cross stitch kits of Joy Sunday, they have all the instructions on the different stitches, and you can always Google it too, and there are plenty of tutorials out there. So let's go ahead. Now, where is the design I need to... This is where referring to the graph really comes in handy. This is the wheel I'm doing at the moment, and I'm just doing these last 3 rows of backstitch. Yeah, you really need to refer to this. With the wheels, I can just see the print. Not on all, there's one missing down here that I can't see. Oh, I can just see it actually. So let's see where the thread is at the back. Okay. So I do sort of 2 squares at a time, or sometimes 3. I never used to. Years and years ago, I thought you had to follow the squares. I didn't even know that you could go in between the squares, backstitch. But I must admit, all the designs I did years ago didn't have a real lot of backstitch in them. In fact, hardly any. So yeah, that's probably why I didn't know much about it. And we didn't have computers back then either. We just had magazines and books. But yeah, I'm just working about 2 squares at a time. I am going to buy a really, really sharp needle for backstitching. You do get 2 needles in the kit, and Mum told me that one of them should be for backstitch and one should be just for the cross stitch. The backstitch, I think you need a pointier needle, especially if you go in between the holes. If you put the needle in between the holes, if you know what I mean. Because you need to be quite precise. And I'll show you the other wheel in a little bit. But sometimes I'm a bit wonky. And I think it's because the needle is not that good. But as I mentioned, Mum said the one should be for backstitch. But they're exactly the same. One is not sharper than the other, as far as I can tell. Now see, this There's 2 over, and where I have to place the needle in is just under the hole, and it's very hard to get that precise with this needle that's not so sharp. I think maybe I just haven't had enough experience backstitching, to be honest. Let me know how you go backstitching, if for those who do cross stitch. It's fine if you need to place it right on the hole, but see here again I have to go between 2 holes, and it's really hard to get that point just where you need it to be. Now this one is right on the hole, so that's easy. Then you've got to come back up and get it in this exact spot where you were before. Now this has got 3 squares to go down, and I'm just going to go right to the end on this one. And yay! Oh, okay, I completely forgot a row down here. That's okay, I think I'm going to have enough thread. I'm just going to thread it at the back down to the bottom where I need to be. And I always have a book to weigh the Ada down, because this is so small it doesn't really need to be in a frame. Now let's just check with the graph to see if I've got the right spot. Yep, I can't quite see the lines on this one. I find the backstitch hard when it's on top of the already cross-stitched project, especially if it's busy. The geese on the broom, that took me a while to do the backstitching, but it was fun. So don't be scared of backstitch. Okay, so that's it. Now I'm just going to bring that over here and thread it under here. Just zoom it out so you can see, readjust the camera. Okay, so here it is, the almost finished cross stitch. Now if you look at the wheel on this side, on the outside of the wheel, I didn't have to, but I wanted to. I cross stitched that because it looks more like a wheel with those patterns in the tire, whereas on the pattern you would just leave it like that. So it's just a personal thing. Sometimes I add my own touches to it. So yeah, but that's it. I love butterflies. They had a bit of cross stitch, back stitch I should say, as well. And I did some on the pedal, not the pedal itself, but the arm of the pedal. Did a bit there. And I changed the colour as well. That should be yellow, and the outside of the wheels should be yellow, but I made them pink to highlight it. So, just a personal thing. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. So I'll finish this wheel off, which won't take me long, and then I'll wash this, press it, and frame it, and it's going to go for a family member for a birthday present. So yeah, really like that. I'll also show you what I've been working on the other Halloween cross stitch that I've been working on. I haven't touched it for a while, so I will, now that this one's almost finished, I'll be working on this one again. I just bought these from Officeworks. They're really good just to hold your cross stitch in. You can also use the bag it came with, because this is a Joy Sunday. Now, what's she called? This is from Biggest Craft. Night Elf, but she's not an elf. She's a little cute witch with her hat. And there was a problem with some of the thread. Now, which one is it? 433 DMC code, which is number 9. Is it? No. It was number 1221. Now, if you look at the design, it's much lighter around the pom-pom of her hat. Actually, that might not be, I think that's meant to be the moon. Or is it a pom-pom? I can't tell. Well, I'm going to make it a pom-pom. Now, you can see there's not much difference. And I triple checked, making sure that I've used both cottons, and I think maybe the wrong colour was put in. I'm not 100% sure, because this is almost the same colour. There's not much difference. Which, yeah, a bit of a bummer, but never mind. I just kept going. And I'll just turn it around for you so that you can see how much I've done. Not the neatest, but so I'm finishing off 221, which is a burgundy, and then I'll be filling in the orange, which is black, and then I'll be working on the bottom half. Now for this round bit here, I'm going to use beads, so that's going to become a pom-pom, especially because I actually think it's the moon, because that's why there's lighter colours around it. So this will probably fit more being a pom-pom now that the colours are wrong, because it's not being illuminated by the moon. So that's the story on that one. So yep, I may as well keep that out because I'll be working on that next. And just before I go, I'll show you how much thread is left on the Romantic Summer Bike. So this is the colour for the backstitch. I'm just going to use one more thread on that. You use a single thread for backstitch on the 14 count. But yeah, not much left. Oh, and by the way, the cream for my sunspots, I don't know if they're working well or not, but this was the original spot, and I put some cream on another couple of tiny little spots that I saw, so they've come up. So it doesn't look the best, but it doesn't itch, surprisingly. And I put cream on it during the day and just put the Fluorestal cream on 2 hours before I go to bed. And there was another spot here and here that I put it on. But of course you start putting cream on one area and then it brings up spots everywhere else. So I've got to be careful and just, yeah, try and stick to the area where the doctor told me to. But anyway, now here it is raining. It's 15 degrees Celsius here in Adelaide today, and the other week it was really, really hot. So now it's back to winter and it's raining, windy, cold. Oh, we get a bit of a tease for spring and then it goes back to the cold weather. I don't think we're going to get a spring. I think we're just going to completely miss out on that, and one day it'll just be stinking hot and that's where it'll stay for summer. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Look after yourselves and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.